Curse of the Werewolf might be one of the most interesting roller coasters in all of Epic Universe. So in today's video, we're gonna deep dive into the ride experience to see what it does well and where it falls short. Before we get started, please like this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of Curse of the Werewolf, I would love to hear. And of course, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. At the time of this recording, we are pushing for 20,000 subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate if you helped us get closer to that goal. Thank you so much. One more thing, please click the link in the description and give my Instagram account a follow. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Curse of the Werewolf is of course located within Dark Universe within Epic Universe. This is one of the most interesting themed lands in the park. Curse of the Werewolf was actually a very last minute addition to this park. When the original concept art for Epic Universe came out in 2019, Dark Universe actually had Frankenstein's Manor and a stage show within the concept art. Frankenstein's Manor, of course, went on to become Monsters Unchained, but the stage show was replaced, and rumors were swirling that a Mock Rides roller coaster was going to replace it. So I got really excited because I love Mock Rides. It's one of my favorite manufacturers. And then the rumor was that it was going to be a Mock Rides Extreme Spinner, and that got me so excited because I love Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. It's one of my favorite roller coasters I've ever been on, and thinking about an attraction like Time Traveler but with universal level theming, I was like, that could be one of the best roller coasters in the world. And plus it made sense to me because I was like, Islands of Adventure has two thrilling coasters with Incredible Hulk and of course Velocicoaster, so it would make sense for Epic Universe to have Stardust Racers. At the time I think it was called Starfall Racers, and this new Mock Rides Extreme Spinner. And of course it made sense for a thrilling roller coaster to be within Dark Universe because it's the most intense theme. It's dark, it's like horror themed. So that could have been so perfect. Plus you look over at Ride to Happiness in Belgium, that layout looks so good. And a lot of people that have ridden it consider it one of the best, if not the best, roller coasters on the planet. So that's so cool. So I got so hyped, I was like, Epic Universe could get a Ride to Happiness style attraction themed to Dark Universe. Like, it could have been so cool. I got way too excited. I set my hopes way too high because of course what we ended up getting was Curse of the Werewolf, which is a much more toned down Mock Rides spinning coaster. It's more family style. That being said, I was still excited after the disappointment washed off because I live in Southern California and we have Sierra Sidewinder, which is a family spinning coaster built by Mock Rides. And that ride is really fun. It's actually one of the best roller coasters at Knott's Berry Farm, despite its smaller size. A launched Sierra Sidewinder themed to werewolves with like a universal budget could be really cool. Like, it looked really cool in the Epic Universe animations, and then the ride opened and there were a bunch of ugly nets, and this is by far my biggest issue with the attraction. Curse of the Werewolf is winding over the walkways of the back half of Dark Universe, and there are no lockers, so that means all loose articles ride with you. So they absolutely covered the track in these ugly nets. They look disgusting, they're large, they're black, they're unthemed. It's terrible. So I thought it was a terrible solution. Honestly, it might have been worth adding ride lockers to Curse of the Werewolf so you wouldn't have this absolute eyesore, especially because this roller coaster dominates the back half of the whole land. So it's visible from pretty much everywhere within Dark Universe. Like, you have this absolutely imposing structure that is Frankenstein's Manor, and right next door you have this ugly roller coaster covered in nets, and it just looks disgusting. Like, they knew that they were gonna build this ride over the walkways, so I don't know why they couldn't have thought of a better solution. Like, if we look at the other roller coasters in this park, Stardust Racers, Hiccup's Wing Gliders both have ride lockers, and then Donkey Kong Minecart Madness allows you to take your personal items in the ride vehicle with you, but that roller coaster stays away from pathways, so there's like no nets. This roller coaster has no ride lockers and it goes over walkways, so they covered the entire thing in these disgusting nets, and it is by far my biggest problem with this ride. The theming in general isn't great. Like, the queue is pretty well done, but I have to be perfectly honest, I've ridden this roller coaster twice, and I've never waited in the standby line. But the tent structures are pretty cool, and it's kind of nice how the station is far back away from the walkway. The station itself is okay. There's this screen on the ceiling that looks like a full moon, even though there's blinding sunlight outside. The single rider line for Curse of the Werewolf actually saved me so much time, so that is actually a good option. Especially if you're a coaster enthusiast visiting Epic Universe, I think you only need to ride Curse of the Werewolf once to get the experience, get the credit, and then you can move on to the rest of the park. The train designs are pretty nice. The restraints are comfortable. You don't have the most amount of leg room. It's pretty much the same amount of legroom that you get on Sierra Sidewinder at Knott's Berry Farm. Once you're dispatched, you're going to turn left into the first launch. So that is the big difference between this ride and Sierra Sidewinder. They traded the lift hill on that coaster for a launch. This launch is actually pretty punchy, which is impressive because Mach Rides up to this point in time has been known for like really weak launches, so I feel like they've adjusted that, especially with the launches on Stardust Racers as well. The launch Mach coasters at Epic Universe are pretty punchy, and that's pretty impressive for a small scale spinning coaster. I was expecting very light acceleration, something in the same ballpark as Slinky Dog Dash, which funny enough is also built by Mach Rides. After that launch, you're going to crest up into a hill. There's no airtime, of course. It is a family style coaster. Speaking of Slinky Dog Dash, I do think it's kind of frustrating that this roller coaster is smaller in scale than that roller coaster in Toy Story Land. Like, as I said, I was hoping for a big boy thrill ride, and we got a coaster smaller than Slinky Dog Dash. But at least those spinning trains add a different dynamic. After that first hill, you're going to crest down and back up into a banked turn that goes over the walkway in Dark Universe, and that'll line you up for the swing launch section through the shed. You're gonna go under two werewolf figures, which are both statues. They're static figures, which really sucks. Universal has taken a couple shots at Disney for Disco Yeti, but then they turn around and do this, so it's kind of like, you're no better than them, you know? Like, what do you do? After you first pass through the shed, you're gonna reach another overbank, but you're gonna stall out and roll backwards and then go back through the shed. If you spun around, you'll see the other werewolf that was on the side that you entered from. I'm pretty sure as you're going backwards through the shed, the launch does not touch your train, so you just lose speed and then you go back up the original overbank that you came in through, but because it's smaller, you have like no speed, so you barely stall out, and then you're actually gonna launch through the shed to get over that larger overbank on the far side, and then you're gonna have a couple low to the ground transitions as you make a left-hand turn, and then you're gonna crest up into a jarring transition that leads you into an airtime bump with no airtime right over the walkway as you land in the final brake run. The final brake run does have a static figure, which really should have been an animatronic. I do think it's ridiculous that they have this like stage space for a show scene and it's just a statue. That is below Epic Universe quality in my opinion. It really should be better, and I hope they're able to add an animatronic to the final brake run of this roller coaster at some point. So I do think Curse of the Werewolf is a pretty fun ride, but it's just the ugliest corner of the park, which is immensely disappointing. I've only ever ridden this roller coaster in middle seats, and unfortunately I haven't really gotten great spinning. I got like mid spinning on my first ride. Like, I think I spun more than the other cars on the train, but it still wasn't crazy. Like, there's some POVs of this roller coaster out there where it's just going nuts. It's going ham. And I really wish I could have experienced that, but I did not get that lucky. Like, if you get some crazy spinning, I feel like that could really make the ride experience much more interesting and much more thrilling, especially for someone like me who is a thrill seeker and I don't get dizzy. But I understand that the company, Comcast, Universal, they probably don't want their guests to get dizzy or nauseous on this ride, so they probably want to limit excessive spinning. They're probably happy with the mild spinning that this coaster currently exists with because it is a smaller scale family coaster, even though again it is in Dark Universe, which may be too scary for the demographic that would be interested in smaller scale roller coasters. Like, honestly, this ride might have been a better fit in Celestial Park, where you could have themed it to like comets or something. You could have themed it to stars. I don't know, but if it was out in the open in Celestial Park, like, it could have been like a great use of kinetic energy. Ideally, you wouldn't have the nets if you put this roller coaster within Celestial Park, but I don't think it's a great fit for Dark Universe. I am happy that the land has 2 attractions, but the wasted potential of what could have been one of the best roller coasters in the world with a Mock Ride's Extreme Spinner replaced by Curse of the Werewolf is just sad. I know that's spoiled theme park fan talking, but there's not really a standout moment on Curse of the Werewolf. Like, Sierra Sidewinder has this helix that's really close to the ground, and it's actually like really intense. I rode Sierra Sidewinder during Not Scary Farm, and I actually hardcore grayed out during that helix, but there's nothing like that on Curse of the Werewolf. Like, the swing launch is okay. I feel like it only exists to extend the duration of the roller coaster because it's a really short track length, and even with the swing launch, the duration of the ride is not that impressive. Like, they traded the lift hill of Sierra Sidewinder for launches, and they traded the helix on Sierra Sidewinder for better theming, but even then, the theming of Curse of the Werewolf does not reach the heights of Epic Univere. But outside of the helix on Sierra Sidewinder, all of Curse of the Werewolf feels very similar in terms of forces to the rest of Sierra Sidewinder. So Curse of the Werewolf is a very strange roller coaster. It's an interesting fit for the park. I think it's worthy of discussion, which is why I made this video. So please let me know down in the comments below what you think of this ride. Do you think they'll ever get rid of those ugly nets, or are we stuck with them for eternity? Please let me know. Please like this video, and of course, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will catch you later.